I would like to welcome you to Joyful Gathering Spiritual Center's Facebook Live Inspirational Talk this evening. And my name is Reverend Margaret Palagye. I am the founding minister of our spiritual center, and we are located in Collingswood, New Jersey. So I am so happy that you joined us this first Saturday, well not Sunday, this first Saturday of 2021. So really, we're going to start the year off in a really strong manner by setting clear intentions. But first I want to let you know that our website, joyfulgathering.org, has on it a plethora of information for you. Everything that's going on at Joyful Gathering Spiritual Center, especially two things. We have Wednesday night healing, which we've been doing since March of 2020. That's a 20-minute meditation and spiritual mind treatment, which is affirmative prayer, and that lasts for about an hour. And then we have Infinite Possibilities, a brand new class that begins this Thursday, January 7th at 7 p.m. with our fabulous practitioners. The facilitator is Dana Smith, and she's assisted by Karen Kane, so we're very excited about that. So, and another thing to let you know that on our website, we have a list of all of our practitioners and ministers. So if you ever feel that you would like to be held in prayer, like call someone for prayer, you can either click on our website and put a prayer request in, or call one of these beautiful lights up, or even better, book an hour session with one of them. You will not regret it. But let's get on with our talk this evening. So let's begin, as we always do, by taking a really beautiful God-given breath. Let's take another one and let's breathe in light. And let's exhale that brilliant light. Let's inhale love and exhale. And that brings us in alignment with the talk this evening. So this is my first talk of the new year, and the whole theme for January is how shall we live our lives this year? So this evening is about designing your own personal life. We just might need a design for living. So this month, we will explore strong and clear intentions for our lives. Scripture tells us, "This is the day the Lord hath made. Let us rejoice and be glad." So I hope that you're rejoicing. And if not, I hope that you're rejoicing by the end of this talk this evening. So right now, we have the opportunity to begin anew. And now, of course, we have that opportunity on any given day, but there's something about the beginning of the year, the first day or two or week of the year, where we like to set intentions, I would hope. So I think it's just a day where we more consciously tap into, what is my theme for the year, and what do I really intend on manifesting this year? I know Joyful Gathering's theme is Healing is Done in 2021. I like to have a little strong affirmation at the beginning of every year. So I think healing is really called for right here and right now on this planet in every sense of our being, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. So I want to be very clear that we are not going to talk about resolutions this evening. I'm not going to talk about those self-assessments that we usually do, some people do, at this time of year, where we review the past and look at what worked last year, what worked last year and what could be improved. No. Last year, I must say, we've had quite a few challenges, opportunities, and for Joyful Gathering, quite a lot actually, manifestations of good. So we at Joyful Gathering, even though we couldn't meet in person, we did for 4 months, but even though right now we're not meeting in person, hopefully we will soon, very soon, we had still been doing the work behind the scenes, and we have been having a wonderful year. So we're looking forward to jumping into 2021 with our spiritual center. But more than importantly, to ask ourselves, in 2020, all these experiences might have taken place. Well, what did I learn from them? In what way? What did I learn about myself? Really? There's so many lessons that were available to us. And I'm sure going forward, we'll have more lessons because that's life. Life is about learning lessons and moving forward. That's what it's about. So this year, we are not going to set ourselves up by making those resolutions. And we're going to begin by setting those strong intentions, as I said before. And maybe you've heard the saying about resolutions. May your troubles last as long as your New Year's resolutions last. So, something to take into account. Often with New Year's resolutions, we attempt to change behavior without really digging into and deepening into our consciousness. That's where we hold all of our values, our thinking, every aspect of our life is our consciousness. So we don't change that. And without changing that foundation, then nothing will change in life. It just won't. I mean, it will, but you won't be a part of it. So this is where science of mind comes in. And most of you know, if you're familiar with science of mind, New Thought, that the first month of the year, we like to get into the teachings of New Thought, which is always wonderful. And let us remember that we believe in a unity, in a oneness. There is one God. There is one mind. That is my mind right here and right now. And each and every one of us has been created out of this infinite life of God so that we are empowered. Limitless potential is always available to us to move forward in our lives. We are never separate from the divine energy that we call God, and that means everybody, every single body. And to be ignorant of that fact doesn't change a thing because the law works, whether we're conscious of it or not. Better to be conscious. We are each a part of this unified field of oneness, no exceptions. At any moment in time, we can wake up to this truth of who we are. This is the message of all the great mystics. They've all said the same thing. For instance, the Buddha was asked, "Who are you?" And his reply was, "I am awake. I am awake." It's not a riddle. Jesus was right in the same vein when he said that we must be born again. He was talking about the same process, and the same good news is that when we change our belief about who we are, we really do change what we do with our lives. When we realize what powerful beings of the light that we are, all things are possible to us. We get to choose. We get to choose how to respond to any given experience, situation, condition that shows up in our lives. Being awake is probably the most important thing that we could ever do. And what does that mean, to be awake? It means to wake up to the truth of our power, the power within that connects with the great I am. That's power, and we all have it when we awaken to it. That's what it means to wake up. That's what it means. So that's the first step in living our life consciously, making decisions, conscious thinking, to really consciously think. So this evening, our work is to look at what design we really want for our lives this year. How do you intend to use God, to have God use you? How do you intend to do that? Through you, as you in 2021. In other words, what is your intention for your life this year? Not what do you plan to do this year, but what really is your intention? And we're going to look at that this evening. First, I want to spend a few minutes looking at the power of intention. And I'm going to quote Dr. Wayne Dyer. He wrote this: "Intention is a force that exists in the universe as a field of energy." Ernest Holmes said, "There is a powerful good in the universe and we can use it." They are talking about the same thing, and it's the same thing that we're talking about this evening. The truth is, we all begin from the same raw material. It's what we do that matters. That's the key. For instance, great example here, a plain bar of iron is worth about $5. The same bar of iron made into horseshoes is worth about $10.50. If made into needles, it becomes worth $3,285. And if turned into balance springs for watches, it attains a worth of $250,000. $5, $250,000. I want you to think about this question. What is God's idea for that bar of iron that is your life? What do you think the intention of this divine, loving, intelligent energy is for your life? Each and every one. Horseshoes, needles, or watch springs, or so much more. So much more. You really do get to decide. Author George Leonard, in the field of human potential, wrote this: "Ultimately, human intentionality is the most powerful evolutionary force on this planet." Intentionality. Set clear intentions, which you're going to do in a little while. Tonight, we're going to harness the power for ourselves, this power for ourselves, as we set a strong, clear intention. So what do I mean by intention and a theme? Because we're going to do both, an intention and a theme. Well, first, the intention. What is the broad intention for your life? By intention, we're looking at the what. We're looking at the what of your life. By broad intention, I mean the broad what. And I'm going to give you some examples. This is broad. I intend to go deeper and higher in spirit. I intend to be an ambassador of God. I intend to see the divine in everything. Just some examples. I intend to live from a place of real, unconditional love. I intend to experience an awakening of consciousness. I intend to live my divine purpose. I intend to unconditionally share my gifts and talents with the world. And it goes on. Whatever you can imagine, you can intend. Now, what do I mean by theme? Theme is the how. So intention is the what. Theme for your life is the how. And not the how as in details of how to get to, this is going to work out, and all these different stuff that we get caught up in. No, that's not what I mean. That's God's job. But rather, how. but rather the how, as in the atmosphere of energy, do you desire to live your intention? What is it you want to feel? What is it you want to feel from the intention that you set? For example, I'm going to give you some examples of this. Your intention. I intend to go deeper and higher in spirit while living, moving, and having my being in joy. So the theme for the year is joy. The intention for the year is to go deeper and higher in spirit. I intend to be an ambassador of God as I experience unshakable faith and confidence. So the theme for the year is faith and confidence. Intention for the year, to be an ambassador for God. See, I hope you're getting the gist of where I'm going with this. Intention, to see God in everything, in an atmosphere of profound peace. The theme is profound peace. The intention is seeing God in everything. We take it apart. We get the intuition, we get the intention part, and then we get what we want to feel from it, the feeling part. What is it you want to feel? If it's, I want to start really working out this year, I want to really live my best life physically. Why do we want to do that? So we can feel good mentally and physically. So there is an intention, and then there is a theme. So the theme is health, isn't it? The theme is health. I hope you get the picture on that one. And in a moment, we will do a process, an internal process, for tapping into your intention, the what, and theme, the how, for 2021. But first, an important word. There's something very important that you must do once you set your intention and theme. And what would that be? To let it go. Remember our saying. It's not just our saying. It's used in all the 12-step programs, and it's the greatest saying, I believe, that you could have. Let go and let God. Let God do all that. Let the universal energy provide the manifestations in ways that we could not. But it can't work unless we have a strong intention and a theme. A strong intention and a theme. Can I give you a little example? An idea dropped in the subconscious. It's like a letter that's dropped in the mailbox. Just know that the message was delivered, right? We put it in the mailbox. We don't think about it after that. We know it's going to hopefully arrive at the destination. So after you set your intention and theme, release it. Release it to God. When you mail a letter, you don't go and wonder about when is it going to be delivered, if it's going to be delivered. Watch for when the mail person comes to take the mail out of there, and follow them to the post office to make sure they take it there to get it mailed. We don't do that. So why should we do it? When we set our intentions, we let the divine take care of it, and it always works. Try it. At some point, we hope early on in this process that we really do deepen into that letting go and letting God. And the same is with the letter. We got to trust the Postal Service is going to deliver our letters, even though this year they might be a little behind. There's reasons for that. But they eventually, hopefully, will get there. So for us then, we move forward by, I want to do something this evening. And if we were live together, if we were physically together, we could take more time doing this. So what I'm going to do, and what I really, really urge each and every one of you to do, is to do a visioning process for yourself. And I'm going to give you the 5 questions. I'm going to repeat them. And I'm hoping that maybe after your meditation tomorrow, that you can go into these 5 questions. So it'd be really great to write them down. And if you don't write them down, you can listen to this talk. It'll be on my timeline on Facebook, and it'll be on Joyful Gathering Spiritual Center's timeline, with the page anyway. So this is the visioning. These are the visioning questions. So the first question: what is the divine idea or vision for the intention I set for myself in 2021? What is the divine idea or vision or intention that I set for myself in 2021? What does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it sound like? Questions like that. And then take that into your consciousness and allow yourself to deepen into that. And then when you get an answer, write it down. Write it down. The second question: what is my role in this vision? What is my role in this vision? Maybe you're going to do this in the silence. Take as long as you need. You might draw a picture. You might get a word. You might get a phrase. The third question: how must I grow in order to embody this vision? How must I grow in order to embody this vision? The fourth question: what must I release to embrace this manifestation, this intention? What must I release? And the fifth question is: what am I willing to commit to? What talents and gifts am I contributing to my vision? What talents and gifts am I contributing to my vision? So this is something that ideally, as I said, we do after we meditate. And then we do an affirmative prayer or spiritual mind treatment, however you pray. Follow all 5 questions. When you've gotten answers, follow it with prayer, knowing it's going to manifest. Because I'm going to do a prayer right now. So I'm going to go, I want to seal this in for each and every one of us. So I ask you to take a breath and to join me as we deepen into this prayer of anchoring our intention, our vision for the year 2021, for our lives, for how we live our lives, no matter what the condition might be. We get to choose. So I'm going to ask you to take a nice breath with me. As we deepen into that beautiful place in consciousness, where I absolutely know that this word spoken here, this word of truth, is made manifest by the law of God. And so breathe with me as we just hold our intentions. If you don't know them, be open and receptive, because the divine intelligence is moving through each and every one right here and right now. For this divine intelligence, this loving energy, this force of creation is always present, it's omnipresent, it's all-knowing, it's omniscient, and it's omnipotent, all-powerful. This is the glorious nature of God itself, where all things are possible. This is that force of love that creates out of itself, out of its God self. It creates life, all of life, planets, galaxies, flowers, you name it. It's all part of this divine energy. That is what oneness is. That is what unity is. That's what this loving force of unconditional love truly is. It's beyond our comprehension, but we open up to it. We open up to the love of God. We open up to the direction and guidance of this infinite intelligence. Each and every one of us, we are in this unified field of limitless potential. And in that field, we get to choose how we respond to any given circumstance. We get to choose how we want to set a strong intention for our lives, a theme for our lives. We release that theme, that intention to the law of God, that law that gives back what is put into it. And so I'm claiming right here, right now, that each and every one of us, each one is a being of this divine light. This, I absolutely believe that this core, and it's really our bodies are in this light, but for us to comprehend this core of our being is divine, the very eternal self of who we are. And so as we allow our minds to direct us, our hearts, our solar plexus, to allow us to guide us to the highest good for this year of 2021, so that we can move forward in our lives, healing what we don't need anymore, and embracing the new, the freshness that is yet to unfold for each and every one of us. We are love expressing. I don't care what the circumstances are. I know the absolute truth is that we are light itself. It is eternal. And so when these bodies are shed, that eternal light of who each one is forever, forever expanding, forever growing, forever shining. And so I know that each one is surrounded by the light of God in this year and in every year. I know that each one is guided and directed by the intelligence of God right here, right now. I give thanks for all of this and so very, very much more. I give thanks for being with you this evening, and I give thanks for the loving energy that is God itself. As I know this word spoken, this affirmative prayer cannot return to me void. I release it fully and completely into the law of divine mind, universal mind, where this word is impressed upon the law of good, and it comes forth as the most perfect expression for the most accurate and powerful intention for each and every person in their lives, right in this moment and in every moment. I celebrate life. I celebrate you. I celebrate our spiritual community, Joyful Gathering Spiritual Center. And I say, peace be unto you, and live well, my friends. Live well.